Hi guys, Fraser from LIFCO Hydraulics. We have an LSHT, so it's a low-speed, high-torque motor, and it's one that we took off the shelf and sold it to a customer, and when they got it and they started it up, they said they had an O-ring that was extruding.
It's a LSHT. The specific type is a TF, but they're all fairly identical. Like a TB, TF, TE, TC, TG, they're all the same, it's just they have different options.
And we're inspecting this because?
It had a major failure. So you can see an O-ring's blown out.
Is that kind of like the same circumstance that a shaft seal would blow out?
Just a shaft seal blowing out is more common. Typically your seal is gonna have a groove. So you'd blow out the groove kinda. So this is probably just assembled wrong. Where a shaft seal blowing out is excessive case pressure. Could be more reasons to it, but typically your shaft seal is softer, so it's gonna blow out before a housing blows out. I'm just doing it like that so I can check what the torque is. So at 12 o'clock and 12 o'clock we'll do a dot. So right there, it goes to 14 foot-pounds, and that's how much the bolt came off. So these are probably all really loose. It should be like 50, I think. Or 50 to 55 foot-pounds. So I was right.
So they didn't run it?
We tried to run it and the body began leaking.
These bolts, how long do they go all the way down?
All the way through.
Okay. So that sandwiches all the body, and if the body is loose,
Yep.
well, because the bolts are, then obviously you're gonna have gaps in.
Yep. Or it could have been built wrong. That seal could have been on the outside. It's probably just gonna be new seal kit. See, each section has like a groove for the O-ring. So what probably happened was they installed it like this and torqued it down. And as soon as there's pressure, it was able to hop through and it blew it out. That'd be my guess. This looks fine. We'll have to clean it now that I've taken it apart. So what our problem looks to be is you can see how it's flattened here and here where it was sitting. And this is kind of smushed.
Oh.
This O-ring was not installed correctly. And when they torqued it down, they squished the O-ring. So that's why you got this lip here. You can see how it's got almost double the thickness. Dog bone looks fine, not snapped. We'll just take a file and clean that up. A little bit of wear, but it's fine, it's brand new. Shouldn't matter. And that'll pop out, and this will come out, and so will the shim in there. There's no need to take all that apart. So you have your washer, your shim, and then your bearing. Your bearing runs on here. Then you have your inner seal and your outer seal. And you also have a bearing between your two seals. So this in here, it's kind of hard to see. This here is your shaft seal, and this right here is your wiper. So it's just like a dust seal.
So you're not taking it apart, though, is what you're saying?
There's no point.
There's no point.
It's just, it was assembled wrong, or that seal moved when they were putting it together. What they probably did was put it down, the timing was wrong, lifted it up, put it back down to fix the timing, and the O-ring came up with an oil seal from when they lubricated it. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. Like this will go together fine. Now that we have it open, we might as well reseal it. It'll save them more trouble down the road.
What do you say about the torque not being suspended?
That's probably why the seal popped up. The torque wouldn't back itself off if it's brand new. If it was older and everything was worn, then I could see the bolts backing themselves off. It's very unlikely, but it is possible.
Yeah.
With like a plow machine hitting a rut a lot, eventually the vibration could lead to it backing itself off, but that is a man-made mistake. Either the customer opened it and looked at it, or someone who built the pump didn't torque it down. And the pinched O-ring, that is also a man-made mistake. That's nothing to do mechanically.
Okay.
It could be because the bolts are loose.
What came first, the O-ring extruding or the under-torqued bolts? If I had to guess, it was likely that it was the under-torquing of the bolts. I would expect that if they had the O-ring caught and then tried to torque it down and then it loosened up or something like that, I would think that maybe one side would be still properly torqued and the other side would be under-torqued, because that O-ring was only extruding out of one side. It's likely that at some point somebody removed those bolts and then put them back on, not realizing the specific torque specs that they had to do. And remember, torque specs are not set by the manufacturer. They're set by the material and the design of that material. It's the stress and strain of the threaded fastener, where you apply a certain stress to it. The strain starts to move those threaded fasteners, and as long as it's within the elastic deformity of it, meaning that it's going to return back to its original shape, that is what determines what the torque specs are going to be. So it's likely that somebody took it off and did not apply those torque principles to retorquing it. It is possible that it came from the factory. We don't see a lot of those types of issues. They come off of sort of an assembly line. They have quite a bit of quality control in there, but we don't really care. We want them to have a working motor at the end of the day, and that's all that matters.
Will we test this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll throw a new seal in it and then we'll test it just to make sure everything works fine.
Perfect.
Now, how do we test the low-speed, high-torque motors? You've seen us do testing where we have a dynamic load on it. That means that we apply a resistance so that the motor is building pressure in there. Low-speed, high torques are tougher to test like that. We probably still could do that. They're not economical to do that, though. Nobody's going to pay for that type of test, and it's kind of overkill. These are very simple devices. If you see that we're testing here, all we're doing is we're making sure it spins. So we're spinning it one way and then putting the flow through and spinning it the other way. They're not really paying too much attention to what the RPM is because there's no speed sensor on there, and I don't think there's even a flow meter on that to determine it. So we just do a very simple test.
So with the new O-ring, the motor is good to go?
Yeah, and we tested as you saw in there. And we don't charge the customer for that either. Where I learned most of this was from a book by Carroll Smith. It was Nuts, Bolts, and Fasteners, I think was the title. We'll put it in the description. The very first few pages, it says, a lot of people, a lot of engineers and scientists try to tell you that this material science is just for people with university degrees in it. It's not the case. All you have to do is just read a few pages of a book such as this, and you'll know all you really need to at least stay out of trouble. Let me phrase that. I didn't know that before reading this, that the elastic properties of the steel are what was holding it together. I always thought that they were sort of seized on or something like that, but it's actually the friction caused by the steel trying to return to its normal shape. So if you were to just look up at the threads, and if you were to see them as not being perfect, then you really need to throw that fastener out. The pumps and motors that you see on these videos, they're your pumps and motors. Send them in. We'll make a troubleshooting video, and we don't charge for labor if we're making a video on it.